Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about the 10 anticipated movies of the year. Not in any category, we talked about Disney, but I'm just talking about 10 movies in general that I think fans are looking forward to. I think critics, some of them are already liking these movies. So let's go through this list real quick. I want to kind of go rapid fire here, but let me know what you're excited to see this year that is not Disney related, because as you know, Disney is going to dominate the box office. But we have these movies coming out that are going to be not related to Disney, totally independent of themselves, except for one of the DCEU films, and trying to make their mark on the box office. Some of them are going to be huge blockbusters. Some of them are a little smaller, but I'm excited for all of them. There's Glass coming out in this month, which is M. Night Shyamalan's third movie in the Unbreakable trilogy. There is the Lego Movie 2, directed by Mike Mitchell and Trisha Gum, that comes out in February. I think that's going to be very energetic and exciting and fun. 5 years between sequels, but I think we're going to get something really, really awesome. Then we have Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out with Us, which is more of a psychological thriller sci-fi, kind of like a Twilight Zone thing, which is interesting, because he's the host of the new Twilight Zone movie, which is coming to CBS All Access later this year. At number 3, we have How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, the closing movie to the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. The last movie came out in 2014, and this movie is also directed by Dean Dubois, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he directed all of them. But that's going to be very exciting. I really have high hopes for that movie. I have high hopes for every movie I see, because they go like every 10 minutes. I don't want to see. I don't think anyone wants to see a movie that's going to fail. That comes out in March, and then we have David F. Sandberg directing Shazam. That is the next film in the DCEU, which is interesting, right? Because we had Aquaman, directed by someone who had directed horror movies. We have Shazam, directed by someone who had directed horror movies, pulled out of their element, put into this genre, and they're saying, now you work for us. But I think it's going to be great. It looks really funny. It looks really lighthearted. That's going to be awesome. Then we have Detective Pikachu coming out in May, just a couple weeks before the next movie in the list, but we'll get to that in a minute. This is directed by Rob Letterman, who directed Gulliver's Travels and Goosebumps. Yikes, maybe. I don't know. Goosebumps did pretty well. Gulliver's Travels was middle of the road. Jack Black. But this stars Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, so that's pretty cool. I think that's going to be really fun. It kind of looks neo-noir, futuristic, techie, kind of mixed together. And I think Rob Letterman is, from what we've seen, I think Rob Letterman's going to do a pretty good job. If anything, it's going to be Pokemon on the big screen, which is what people have been wanting to see for years and years and years. Then we have Godzilla, King of the Monsters, coming out in May with Michael Dougherty directing. That is the third film in the Kaiju universe. We had Godzilla in 2014. We had Kong Skull Island in 2017. We have this movie 2019, and then we have the final closeout, Godzilla vs. Kong, coming out in 2020, next year. I can't believe next year's 2020. We're going to have a lot of great movies to talk about, you guys. But this is really, really exciting. It looks beautiful. The cinematography looks great. The music looks great. So, here's hoping that he can pull it off. Skipping ahead a few months, we have Todd Phillips returning to the big screen with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. This is not, so far as we know, this is not a DCEU movie. This is kind of its own separate independent thing, and it takes place in the 80s. They're going for the R rating, which I think they wouldn't be able to do if they were in the DCEU, so that might be one of the factors. But who knows? Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing director. I think he's going to do great as the Joker. That comes out in October. Will it be horror? Who knows? I don't know. It's coming out in October. It might be rated R. We might see something of that sort in the movie. And then number 9 coming out in October as well, October 8th, I want to say, 2019, is a movie that is the complete opposite. We have Marielle Heller's You Are My Friend, which is a Mr. Rogers movie starring Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers. The tears are already starting to flow. I recommend you go to the nearest Target, buy a box of tissues, keep it on reserve, take it to the movies in October, and prepare to cry your eyes out. Because Mr. Rogers Fred Rogers was an amazing person, and I really think Tom Hanks is going to do him justice. And then, last but not least, we have Tim Miller, who was fired off of Deadpool 2, who said, you know what, I don't need you guys, I'm moving on to Terminator. Who knows how that's going to do. The last 3 movies, were middle of the road. Genesis was okay. The fourth one wasn't that great. The third one is okay. The real clincher for this one is that this movie has Linda Hamilton returning as Sarah Connor, which she has not done since Terminator 2 back in the 80s. So, I think a lot of the movie's success will be fueled by her return as Sarah Connor. Maybe a lot of 80s action movie fans will be coming back. Arnold Schwarzenegger will be back because Arnold Schwarzenegger will never not play the Terminator. And that comes out in October. So here's hoping, right, that these movies are going to do well, that they're going to do well with critics. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited? Are there movies you want to see? Are there movies you don't want to see? Are there movies that you're skeptical about? Let me know. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you at the movies.